if President Biden's policies are helping bring crime down, would he be comfortable with somebody borrowing his Corvette and parking it on the street overnight in Southeast DC?
Good one.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, the Biden-Harris administration announced that manufacturers of all 10 drugs selected for negotiation have decided to participate in the Inflation Reduction Act's Medicare drug price negotiation program. Another major step in President Biden's fight to lower health care costs for seniors and families. Last year alone, 9 million seniors spent $3.4 billion in out-of-pocket costs. On these 10 drugs to treat conditions like heart failure, diabetes, arthritis, blood clots, Crohn's disease, and more. President Biden and congressional Democrats finally beat Big Pharma and allowed Medicare to negotiate lower drug prices for the first time in our nation's history, despite every single Republican in Congress voting against the Inflation Reduction Act.
Oh my God.
Today's announcement builds on the work of this administration to lower health care costs, including capping the cost of insulin to $35 for seniors, making vaccines free for Medicare and Medicaid enrollees, and saving 15 million Americans $800 per year on health insurance premiums. President Biden will continue fighting to lower health care costs for American families, no matter how many challenges Republicans and Big Pharma put in our way.
I don't understand.
Finally, as you all know, we're joined here by the Admiral John Kirby, who is here to discuss the President's calls this morning with some of our partners and allies to coordinate on how we are going to continue to support Ukraine and also take some of your foreign policy questions. I should say that our conversation back in the back should call you out. I'm going to time you out.
Oh, yeah!
Tell us more.
She probably will.
I don't know. Wasn't sure if you knew Taylor Swift.
I know.
All right.
Apparently she's dating a football player.
Yes.
Do you have any inside scoop on that? It's like the biggest story.
Right? That's
Anything you could tell us on that front.
on that front. You know, all the gossip.
Does
here.
President Biden think it's real?
The relationship? In the vernacular of the National Security Council, I can neither confirm nor deny those reports.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Will you take the question?
I will happily take the question back to our analysts.
Communities were safe. This is something that the president has done, and Republicans have not helped. And I know you have. I know you're going to follow up on that. What's your question?
Well, the first follow-up would be, how are you going to blame Republicans for this? Isn't D.C. run by a bunch of Democrats?
I'm going to speak to what the president has done, right? The president has been very, very straightforward about what he has done to make sure that communities are safe. American Rescue Plan, not one Republican in Congress voted for it. Not one. There were billions of dollars in that plan, in that act, to make sure communities across the country got funding.
Well, we're waiting.
Indeed, hire more police officers so that they can keep their communities safe. Republicans had nothing to do with that. They were not involved in that. They decided not to vote on the American Rescue Plan. That's just a fact.
So, if President Biden's policies are helping bring crime down, would he be comfortable with somebody borrowing his Corvette and parking it on the street overnight in Southeast DC?
I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. I'm just going to get into the facts about what this president has done in this presidency. One thing that somebody was asking me about bipartisanship, he was able, as it relates to guns, he was able to come together, right? We saw Democrats and Republicans come together and have the first piece of anti-gun violence prevention legislation in 30 years. And that's something that this president was able to do.
If a member of Congress is not safe on the streets of the nation's capital, who is?
Look, we're grateful and relieved that the congressman is unharmed. We understand what communities are going through across the country, not just in D.C. That's why the president took action very early on in his administration to get the American Rescue Plan done. Without the help of Republicans. His budget, he makes sure there are billions of dollars to deal with crime. That's just a fact. All you got to look is what the president has been able to do this past 2 years. There's always going to be more work to be done, but the fact is the president has taken action. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Karin.
We think Bidenomics is clearly working, and it's not just about the here and now, although it's about that too. So let's start with where we are right now. Again, we have real wage gains over the past few months, and that consistently supports strong consumer spending, which is leading to GDP growth estimates that are way above trend for Q3 that I'm sure you've seen.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
We think Bidenomics is clearly working.